The family photograph, they call it, and a very dysfunctional family the G20 looks at the moment. The smiles and bonhomie disguise nothing. On the paramount global challenge of the moment, Syria, these men and women are hopelessly divided. In such gatherings, it's the prerogative of the host to keep his guests waiting. Vladimir Putin has used every possible moment of the summit to exert his authority. No one will have been fooled by the sheepish shrug of mock apology for his tardiness. And no one will have missed the fact that smiles from Barack Obama and the Russian president were for the cameras. For one another, there wasn't even a glance. It is absolutely standing room only as we wait for Vladimir Putin to arrive for his end of G20 press conference. This is box office stuff from the Russian president. It's been an incredible platform for him and his views. It's worth considering. Just imagine if the G20 hadn't been going on this week. We'd be concentrating on those countries about to take action, principally Barack Obama and his allies. Instead, St. Petersburg really has been the opportunity for the naysayers to have a go.
Russia, China, India, Indonesia, the largest Muslim country in the world, Argentina, Brazil, South Africa, Italy, all spoke against military action. Also, the same was done by the General Secretary of the United Nations.
But just as President Obama frequently affected to be oblivious of his Russian counterpart during this gathering, so he was always bound to disdain opposition in general. Only a congressional vote of no will stymie his determination to punish President Assad for the use of chemical weapons.
I put this before Congress for a reason. I think we will be more effective and stronger if, in fact, Congress authorizes this action.
David Cameron had hoped to be at the American president's shoulder in deed as well as word over Syria. It didn't work out that way. But he wanted to take on the argument that only action sanctioned by the Security Council can be lawful.
If we accept that the only way a response can be made to a country that, let's say, it was massacring half or more than half its people, if we're saying there can only be a response if the UN Security Council votes positively, we are in fact contracting out our foreign policy, our morality, to the potential of a Russian veto.
Just moments before taking the stage, the PM had tweeted a florid response to reported remarks from the Russian side, calling the UK a small island no one pays attention to. The Prime Minister was more than happy to expand. You have found the time during your presumably about 3 hours of sleep to compose a jolly uplifting ode to all things British. Anybody would think a nerve has been touched.
No, not at all. Look, as far as I can see, this whole issue has now been denied by the Russian spokesman. They claim they never said such a thing. All I said to the British press earlier is something I believe very deeply, which is, yes, we are a small island.
As he returns to Little Britain, David Cameron will reflect that he never expected great progress in St. Petersburg. Still, stalemate and acrimony is a deeply unsatisfying response to the dreadful events in Syria. Joey Jones, Sky News at the G20 in St. Petersburg.